Welcome back, focused learners. Let's jump right into this explainer, where we're going to unpack the incredible rhythm, the unyielding sense of duty, and that deep human connection packed inside W.H. Auden's beautifully crafted 1935 poem, The Night Mail. But before we even get to the physical train or the rugged Scottish landscape, I want you to just sit with this piercing quote. For who can bear to feel himself forgotten? I mean, that emotional core right there. That's exactly why a seemingly mundane mail delivery mattered so deeply to Auden, and why it totally resonates with us today. It is basically the engine driving the entire poem. All right, here's our roadmap. We'll start with a cinematic journey, tackle the uphill climb and darkness, witness the dawn over industrial Scotland, explore the symphony of letters, analyze the rhythm of the rails, and finally, arrive at the fear of being forgotten. Okay, Section 1. The cinematic journey, the train's origin. Now, what's really fascinating here is the context of how this was actually created. Auden wrote this poem back in 1935 specifically to be spoken alongside a musical track for a documentary film about the Postal Service. This is a huge piece of the puzzle because it explains exactly why the poem reads so much like a rhythmic, highly visual script. It was literally designed to be a film soundtrack in verse, enhancing those moving images of a real train just barreling through the night.
So, following our chronological journey, we're tracking the night mail as it departs London at 8 p.m., crosses the border right around midnight, and eventually reaches Glasgow by dawn at 6 a.m. And as it travels, it's bringing checks, postal orders, and letters for absolutely everyone. The rich, the poor, the shop up the corner, the girl next door. It's this perfectly democratic delivery system where no one gets left behind.
Moving on to Section 2. Uphill climb, pushing through darkness.
Just look at this powerful line. The gradient's against her, but she's on time. Pulling up the steep slopes of Bedock in Scotland, moving past cotton grass and these massive moorland boulders. The train is physically struggling against the steep incline of the tracks. The environment is harsh, it's remote, it's difficult. Yet she never misses her mark. She just pushes right through the darkness with absolute precision.
So, the underlying theme here is duty. The night mail represents fulfilling obligations punctually and relentlessly, literally no matter the terrain or weather. As the poem describes it, even as sheepdogs slumber on, mostly because they just inherently know they can't turn her course, the sheer force of her dutiful presence is felt everywhere. I love this detail. A gently shaking jug in a sleeping farmhouse is the only sign that this massive, determined force is pushing through the night to do her job.
Which brings us to Section 3, Industrial Dawn, entering Scotland.
Auden sets up this masterclass of a contrast here. We kick off with these secluded, quiet, natural landscapes. The dark glens and pale green sea locks, where isolated men are just desperately longing for news. Then, boom, as the train descends into Glasgow, we slam into the mechanical power of the city. He describes industrial machinery as fields of apparatus and furnaces sitting on the dark plain like gigantic chessmen. It is such a stunning visual pivot from raw, silent nature to the imposing reality of modern industrial society. But the beautiful thing, they're all united by their wait for the train.
All right, Section 4. Symphony of Letters, the Varied Cargo.
I want you to really listen to the incredible, chaotic cascade of human life packed into these canvas sacks. The mail isn't just paper. It's receipts, it's paid bills, invitations to visit relations, applications for jobs. It's timid lovers' declarations, juicy gossip pouring in from all over the world, cold financial news, holiday snaps waiting to be enlarged, and somber letters of condolence. It's this overwhelming, beautiful catalog of literally everything it means to be human, all sitting there in transit.
And the sheer diversity of that connection is staggering. These letters connect people from the south of France all the way to the Scottish Hebrides. You've got cold, official mail perfectly typed out on stark white or blue paper, sitting right next to chatty, adoring letters on vibrant pink and violet paper, carrying these endearing notes that are spelt all wrong by some hurried hand. Every single tone, every color of human emotion is just moving forward together.
Next up, Section 5, Rhythm of Rails, building a steam engine.
Just listen to the rhythm of these words for a second. Shoveling white steam over her shoulder, snorting noisily as she passes. Actually, if you speak that out loud yourself, you can physically feel the heavy, laborious chugging of the locomotive. The rhythm of the text perfectly mimics the clack and heave of a steam engine on the tracks. It's brilliant.
Notice the literary device Auden is playing with here. He's using this incredible personification. He takes this massive hunk of iron and coal and transforms it into a determined, living female entity. By giving the train a shoulder to shovel steam over and describing her snorting noisily like a heavy working animal, he turns a literal machine into a relentless, breathing character just carrying out her nighttime duty.
And we have to appreciate the auditory genius, too. The alliteration, those repeating, harsh S sounds in shoveling white steam over her shoulder, acts like the literal hissing of the engine's steam valves. Remember, this was written for a film soundtrack. Auden is perfectly matching the sensory experience of the documentary, making sure the words themselves hiss and puff, just like the train on the screen.
Finally, Section 6, Fear of Forgotten, the emotional payoff. So, while the train was tirelessly working through the night, the rest of Scotland was doing something entirely different. Thousands were fast asleep in Granite Aberdeen, work in Glasgow and well-set Edinburgh. They were locked in their own private little worlds, dreaming of terrifying monsters or maybe just a friendly cup of tea at Cranston's. But here is where the magic happens. As morning breaks, they will all wake up with a shared, subconscious, completely desperate longing for the letters that train has just delivered.
And it all culminates in this breathtakingly simple observation. And none will hear the postman's knock without a quickening of the heart. That physiological reaction, that sudden, anxious, hopeful quickening of your heartbeat when the mail arrives, is the climax of the entire poem. It strips away all the heavy industry, all the noise, and just leaves us with pure human anticipation.
This reveals the deepest truth of our explainer today. Auden isn't really just writing about the Postal Service, is he? He's writing about the absolute universality of human needs. Rich or poor, whether you're living out in a dark glen or right in the middle of an industrial city, we all share the exact same desire for reassurance. A simple piece of delivered paper proves that we matter to someone out there, that we are tied to the broader world.
So, as we wrap up this wonderfully structured journey alongside the night mail, I want to leave you with this question to chew on. We live in a hyper-connected modern world, right? Instant emails, endless texts, notifications popping up every 2 seconds. But in this digital age, what physical act still gives you that exact same quickening of the heart? What tangible thing reminds you that you aren't forgotten? Take a moment to really think about that. Keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.